You walked out of that salon chair feeling different. But was it good times different? Maybe you caught your reflection in a shop window an hour later, that quiet, this isn't me feeling. Here's the truth. A pixie cut can be one of the most flattering, confidence-building choices in fashion over 60. Or it can quietly add years you never intended. The difference almost never comes down to boldness. It comes down to 5 specific avoidable mistakes, and most of them take under a minute to fix once you know they're there. I've spent years talking with stylists who specialize in mature hair. The same 5 patterns keep showing up in the same order in woman after woman's story. So today we're counting them down 5. The least damaging, up to number 1, the mistake behind nearly every I don't know why I don't love this moment in the chair. I'll show you the exact sentence that changes everything the moment you say it, and don't leave before the end. There's a 6th thing. A quiet insider secret. Almost no stylist volunteers unless you ask directly. It has nothing to do with the shape of the cut at all. Visual. Quick before-after montage of pixie cuts, landing on a confident close-up. One more thing before we start. None of these 5 mistakes are about being too old for anything. Every one of them is fixable, usually in a single conversation. So, if you've been quietly blaming your age for something that was actually just a missing detail, stick around. That's about to change. If you want real style advice made for women who want elegant style, timeless fashion, and real confidence after 60, hit subscribe to Stylish 60 Plus now. Let's get into it. Number #5. Copying a photo without personalizing it. This mistake makes a haircut look times fine, times in the mirror, and times wrong, times in every photo after because it was never really yours. Here's the part most women get completely wrong. They walk in with a photo of someone else's pixie and ask for this, full stop. That celebrity photo was built for a different face, a different texture, sometimes a different decade of life entirely. Curly hair needs to be shaped with its natural pattern or it fights you every morning. Fine hair needs volume focus layering or it flattens within days. Thick hair needs texture removed or it bulks up instead of looking sleek. The fix is one sentence. Bring the photo. Then say, I love this shape. Please adapt it to my texture and my face. That sentence turns a copy-paste request into a real collaboration. Longtime stylists will tell you it's the fastest way a client earns their full attention in a consultation. Visual. A client speaking that exact sentence to her stylist who nods and starts sketching adjustments on the photo. Try this tomorrow. Save that sentence in your phone's notes app so you don't forget to say it out loud. Here's a quick real-world example. 2 women. Same photo, same salon, same week. One said nothing else, the other added the sentence. The first walked out disappointed, technically the same cut, somehow not the same feeling. The second walked out thrilled, same stylist, same skill level, one sentence was the entire difference. This is a small mistake in the grand scheme, but there's 1-2 spots up the list that makes this one look minor by comparison. Quick gut check before we move on. If you've ever left a salon and thought it looks good, just not on me, this is very likely the reason. Not a bad haircut, a borrowed one. This might feel like the easiest mistake on this list to laugh off. Don't. It's the one quietly setting the tone for how every appointment after it goes. Number #4, skipping trims and letting the shape grow out. This one turns a style you loved on day 1 into a style you avoid in photos by week 6. A pixie is not cut it and forget it. Longer hair hides a few extra weeks of growth. A pixie can't Every inch shifts the whole structure. The crown loses lift, the sides lose their taper. The change is so gradual, most women can't pinpoint the day it happened. Here's what's really going on. It's rarely that women stop caring. It's that I'll rebook next week quietly becomes it's been 10 weeks. The most common thing stylists hear after fixing this, I forgot how much better I felt when it was actually in shape. Here's the honest, slightly uncomfortable truth. Most women don't notice their own pixie growing out nearly as fast as everyone around them does. You see your reflection every day in small increments. Everyone else sees the jump. The fix: book your next appointment on your way out the door. 4 to 6 weeks is the sweet spot. If that's not realistic for you, ask for a slightly longer, tapered version built to hold structure longer between visits. A well-built pixie can stretch to 8 weeks. The wrong shape looks tired in 4. Try this tomorrow. Set a phone reminder for 5 weeks from today that just says book trim. One trick that makes this nearly impossible to mess up: ask your stylist to text you the rebooking window the moment you leave. It takes the decision out of your hands on a busy week. The reminder just shows up. All you do is say yes. There's a financial side worth naming too. Letting a pixie grow out too far often means a longer, more expensive correction appointment later, sometimes double the time in the chair. A quick, on-schedule trim is almost always the cheaper option in the long run, not just the better-looking one. Stay with me. The mistake at number 1 is the one that undoes everything we've covered if it's overlooked. Quick pause. If this is teaching you something new, tap that like button. It helps this reach more women figuring out the same thing. Number #3, the wrong bangs or no bangs at all. This is the one that actually changes how a whole face reads, and it happens in about 4 seconds with a pair of scissors. Most women over 60 land in one of 2 extremes. They avoid bangs entirely, worried they'll look too young, or they go in heavy and blunt, and that hard line can read as severe, drawing the eye straight to forehead lines instead of softening them. This is the mistake that hides in plain sight, because both extremes feel like safe choices in the moment. Neither one actually is. The sweet spot is in between, side swept or curtain bangs. Soft, moving with you instead of sitting stiff. If you're nervous, ask for point cut ends instead of a blunt line, softer, airier. Visual: side-by-side blunt fringe versus side-swept curtain bangs. Here's the part that surprises most women when they finally try it. Soft bangs don't just soften the forehead. They change how the eyes read too, because they interrupt that long, unbroken line running straight down from the hairline. That interruption is doing more visual work than most people realize. Here's what almost nobody says out loud. Bangs are the lowest risk, highest reward change on this whole list. They grow out in weeks, not months. If you've been on the fence about softening your look, this is where you start. Try this tomorrow. Sweep your front pieces to the side instead of straight down. Watch what happens around your eyes. And there's a bonus here nobody mentions. Bangs are the one part of a pixie you can experiment with almost risk-free. Hate them, they're back to normal in under a month. That's not true of anything else on this list. Here's a version of this most women haven't tried. Ask your stylist to cut the bangs slightly longer than you think you want. Longer bangs give you options. Pin them, sweep them, wear them down, while a too short fringe leaves you with exactly one look until it grows out. And if you've tried bangs before and hated them, ask yourself honestly which extreme you landed in. Most women who say bangs aren't for me tried one of the 2 hard extremes, never the soft middle ground in between. Number #2, letting it go flat This is the one stylists say they hear about most from women in their 60s and 70s, and it's the one that actually makes women cry in the chair. Here's why. Hair naturally loses density. As we age, 3 to 4 women in every 10 deal with real thinning by this stage. Not damage, not your shampoo, just biology. A pixie without deliberate layering lies flat against the scalp. Stylists call it the helmet effect. It drags the whole face down. Say that number again slowly. 3 to 4 in every 10. If this is you, you are not the exception in the room. You're the majority, quietly surrounded by other women carrying the exact same thing and assuming they're the only one. I'll be direct. A flat pixie doesn't just look tired. It can make thinning hair look thinner, the opposite of what going short was supposed to fix. Visual, flat crown versus lifted crown, same cut side by side. There's an emotional layer to this one worth naming plainly. Thinning hair already carries enough quiet self-consciousness for a lot of women without a flat cut making it worse. Getting the volume right isn't just a styling choice for a lot of women. It's the difference between feeling confident walking into a room and feeling like they're hiding. The fix, choppy or feathered texture through the top and crown. And don't skip styling at home. This is where the daily difference actually lives. Volumizing mousse on damp roots. Dry lifting times upward, never back. Here's what most stylists won't say to your face unless you ask. Not every mousse works on fine hair. Maximum hold formulas can weigh it down and undo the exact lift you need. Look for anything labeled for fine or thinning hair specifically and use it sparingly, roots only. A longtime stylist told me about a client who came in for years saying the same thing every visit. Just make it neat. Neat is what she got, flat, tidy. One afternoon, the stylist dried the same cut with lift instead, angled forward instead of back. The client went quiet, then said, "I look like myself again. Same cut, same length, only the direction changed." That single visit changed how she styled her hair every day after. She didn't need a new haircut. She needed the same haircut dried differently. Try this tomorrow. Lift the brush upward at your roots for 20 seconds before doing anything else. Visual. Hands lifting a round brush upward at the roots, timer counting down from 20. If that story felt familiar, you're not alone. That's exactly why this lands at number 2. Here's the number worth sitting with. It costs nothing extra. Same wash, same dry time, same morning. The only thing that changes is which direction the brush moves. That's an enormous return for 0 additional effort. And here's the honest part. Most tutorials skip. This only works if the cut was layered correctly in the first place. Volume styling can't fix a cut with no layering built in. That's a conversation for your next appointment, not just your next blow dry. One more thing before we hit number 1, and I mean this. Most women get this next mistake completely backward, and once you hear why, you won't be able to unsee it in your own mirror. Number has-hone cutting without your face shape in mind. This is the mistake behind nearly every regretful chop. The one that starts more "I don't feel like myself" conversations than anything else on this list. Here's the backward part. Most women assume the wrong pixie is a time skill times problem, that their stylist simply didn't cut well. It's almost never that. It's a rushed consultation where face shape never came up at all. Round face chopped flat at the crown reads even wider. Long face, too little height on top, stretches further. Square jaw, hard blunt edges sharpens instead of softening. Here's a story that captures this perfectly. A woman came into a consultation, certain she had a round face. She described herself that way her entire life. Her stylist pulled her hair back, looked for 30 seconds, and said gently, "You actually have a long face with a rounder jaw." Very different cut. The client was stunned. Nobody had ever actually looked. She'd been guessing her own face shape for over 40 years. Visual. The same woman shown with the wrong shape Pixie next to the correctly adapted one side by side. Visual. 4 face shapes, each with the correct Pixie silhouette layered over it. Here's the part that catches most women off guard. Your face shape can shift subtly over the years, even if it's never changed dramatically. Bone structure, skin, even posture all play a small role. The shape you were cutting for at 50 may not be exactly the shape you have now, which is exactly why guessing from memory so often goes wrong. The fix. Round faces, volume and lift at the crown. Long faces, fullness through the sides. Square faces, soft, wispy layers to blur the jaw. Heart-shaped faces, a gentle fringe to keep the crown from reading too wide. Try this tomorrow. Pull your hair back completely, take a plain photo in natural light, and trace the actual outline. Most of us have been guessing our face shape for decades based on nothing. Save 3 or 4 photos of women who share times that shape not women you admire. Say plainly, build this around my face shape, not the photo. This is why it's number 1. Every other mistake here is fixable in a follow-up visit. This one, overlooked, means the whole cut was built on the wrong blueprint from day 1. It even amplifies everything below it on this list. Wrong bangs on the wrong face shape read as more severe. A flat crown on the wrong face shape reads as heavier. Get this one right first, and every other fix on this list gets easier. This is the one mistake that isn't really about hair at all. It's about information. A single missing conversation and a 20-minute consultation. Everything else on this list is a technique problem. This one is a communication problem, and it's the easiest one to fix the moment you know to ask. Number. The secret almost no stylist volunteers. Here's the 6th thing and the real reason I made this video. A Pixie exposes skin shaded by hair for most of your life, your part line, your hairline, your crown. That skin has never had to build resilience because it's never had the chance. Visual close-up of a part line in bright light, then a hand applying sunscreen along it. A longtime stylist told me about a client's 70s, garden most of the year, who'd worn sunscreen on her face faithfully for 30 years, every single day. She had never once thought about the top of her head. Not carelessness. Nobody had ever said it out loud to her. This is the pattern stylists say they keep hearing from women in their 60s and 70s more than almost anything else. Not neglect, just a genuine blind spot created entirely by decades of hair sitting exactly where it always had until a pixie cut moved it. Try this tomorrow. Part your hair in bright daylight and take one honest look. If you're outside for any length of time, a hat with sun protection and a touch of sunscreen along the part closes that gap in 10 seconds. It's such a small habit, but it's exactly the kind of thing that never gets said out loud in a salon because it has nothing to do with the haircut itself and everything to do with what the haircut reveals. That skin is the least checked skin on your entire body simply because it's never had to be checked before. And here's one more small habit worth adding while you're already thinking about it. At your next appointment, simply ask, "Have a look at my scalp while you're in there and tell me if anything's changed." Your stylist sees the top of your head more regularly than almost anyone else in your life. Use that. If this video taught you even one thing you didn't already know, tap that like button. It genuinely helps this reach more women who need to hear it. Number, bringing it all together. 5, personalize instead of copying. 4, stay consistent with trims or build for longer. 3, bangs that soften, not harden. 2, volume so nothing falls flat. 1, cut for your actual face shape. And the secret, the skin underneath deserves care too. None of this requires more money or more products. Every fix here is a sentence, 20 seconds of styling, or a reminder on your phone. That's the part I want you to walk away with. Style Over 60 was never about doing more. It's about knowing the few small things that actually matter, and this channel exists to keep handing you exactly that, one honest video at a time. So tell me in the comments, what's your face shape and which number on this list, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1, hit closest to home? I read every single one, and it genuinely shapes what I cover next. Next week, the 3 haircuts that actually make women over 60 look younger, and the one everyone assumes is flattering but isn't. Subscribe to Stylish 60 Plus so you don't miss it. Every mistake on this list and the secret we just covered has one thing in common. None of it was ever really about hair. It was about information nobody happened to hand you at the right moment. That's the gap this channel is here to close, not with more products or more pressure, just the plain practical things that actually make a difference. See you in the next one.